Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? It's Jerome here with my son Ethan. We're outside. This was kind of impromptu. He really wanted to go outside, and I really wanted to try the mobile streaming because I reached 100 subscribers last night, thanks to you guys, which unlocked the live option on the YouTube app. So I figured, hey, why not kill two birds, one stone? Make this a quick introductory video and try out this mobile live. See how that works. Ethan, say hi, everybody. Say hi. So anyway, thank you guys. This is the first Tech Talk Thursday. I think I have finally gotten down my schedule. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to do gaming and talk shows. Tech Talk Thursday and Tech Talk Tuesday. And on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it'll be strictly code related. On Wednesday in particular, I will write an app. So every Wednesday, I will write either a mobile app, a web app, or a video game, depending on the complexity of what you guys want. So in order to do this, I will use Twitter polls very heavily. So if you do not follow me on Twitter, please do. That is at MasterShake08. That's MastaShake08, and we'll vote on the poll every week. So, like I said, on Tuesdays and Thursdays we're going to do Tech Talks, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about what Tech Talk Thursdays and Tuesdays are going to be about, how you guys can participate, and what I expect you guys to get out of it, and what you should expect to get out of it. So basically, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm basically going to talk about stuff going on in the tech world, stuff going on personally with my projects, and stuff that you guys want to talk about. I really want it to be driven mostly by you guys. If this is the time, if you have any questions, if you're a beginner programmer and you have a question about some code that you're working on a side project, this would be the time to ask me. If you have any sort of tech, you saw something in the news, you want me to talk about it and it's tech related, this would be the forum and the time to do that. So I guess I'm gonna start it off. Feel free. Greetings, Kasha Bree. How are you doing? Where are you from? Wow, this is cool. I like this format on the phone. Are you one of the new subscribers you subscribed last night? I got a lot of people subscribed last night, and I really appreciated it. But anywho, so I guess let me start off with Amsterdam. So many of you may or may not know, my startup, Treat Me at Home, was selected to get sponsored at the next web conference. I have 10 for another 10 minutes. So that's all cool. That is all cool. Following my son around in the backyard while talking to you guys. But yeah, so I went to Amsterdam because my startup Treat Me at Home was sponsored to go to the next web conference, and the next web conference is one of Europe's biggest startup conventions. So a lot of programmers and startup companies come to present their apps and try to get funding. So me in particular, I got presented for the Boost program. The Next Web has 4 startup programs. They have Bootstrap for people who are just beginning, Boost for people who have their product and they're trying to go to the next level, Scale, which is for people who are trying to go to enterprise level, and can't remember the 4th one. The 4th one was more of like a think tank kind of thing. Come on, son, let's go this way. So anywho, I got selected for Boost, and they paid for my booth. They gave me some shirts and other stuff to give out. I got featured on the website, and then I got my first sponsor, which is the Startup League. So the Startup League is going to sponsor me for this next year, pretty much for any conference I want to go to. So right now I'm trying to go to the next, or my bad, the Web Summit in Lisbon, Portugal, and that's going to be November 6th through the 8th, I believe, or 6th through the 9th. 6th through the 9th. So that's what I'm focused on. And TechCrunch in San Francisco. Now, the reason why I really like going to these conventions is because these are networking hubs. You know, the CEO of Uber goes to events like the Next Web. You have people from Silicon Valley Bank who go to events like the Next Web. So if you are, if you have the chance to even get an attendance ticket, I jump on that. Even if you haven't coded a day in your life and you're just thinking about getting into the space, because nothing beats networking. Let me tell you something. I do not have a college degree. I am a self-taught software engineer. I taught myself at the age of 8. Started my company when I was 14, and now I'm 25. I've worked for Apple. I've done work for Sephora, GE, and Dell. All of these have been senior positions. Do not have a degree. My first job out of, when I dropped out of college was a senior position. And I got that, primarily because of merit. I've been coding for so long, but just as importantly was my networking. I'm always sending emails, Skyping someone, calling someone. A lot of you followed me over because of the Tariq Nasheed show. You saw the episode where he was roasting me. I like stuff like that. That's why I wasn't butthurt about it. Because there's no such thing as bad publicity. So networking is key in really in any field, but computer science, because in computer science it is the only field that touches every other field. Think about it. Whether you go to McDonald's, in Amsterdam, the order menus, there's nobody who takes your order in Amsterdam. They just have a machine. You place your order, you pay, and then you just get called at the front when your food is ready. They don't have paid cashiers. So anywhere from fast food to healthcare to, now we got automated self-driving cars. So it's everything. And once again, my son, I'm following him around our backyard. Ethan, you want to say hi? Ethan, it's my son. But anyway, so so computer science is the only field that touches every other field, and it's the only field where you can truly be successful by being autodidactic, which means self-teaching. So, like I said, I started when I was 8. I'm 25 now. All of this, by the time I got to college, there was really only a couple classes that really kind of taught me something that I didn't really already know, and that was artificial intelligence and numerical methods. You're into the computer field as well, but not exclusively. So what do you do? And I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Akasha or Akasha? Because I hate, people butcher my name all the time. I've told Tariq 15 billion times, it's Jerome, and he still calls me Jyrone. Anyway, come on, son. Come this way. But yeah, so it's really the only field where you can be successful by being autodidactic. Now we have servers that cost $5 a month. You have things like, you have all these free open platforms like Stripe, which allows you to take payments. So you can pay $5 a month, get up a web server, then take payments through that website that you put up, And if you coded it all yourself, then you don't have to factor in time. You don't have to factor in the cost of development monetarily. There's always sweat equity involved. But for $5 a month, you can put up a website that makes you, money. One of the apps that I have up almost exclusively pays my rent and my basic utilities, and that's on a $5 server. That same server hosts about 10 other apps. So for $5 a month, it's like 10 or 11 apps running on one server, and most of them are generating some form of income either for myself or my clients. And that's another thing, being in this field. See, I just got offered a new contract just now. I just got a text message. Being in this field allows me to be my own boss with, I think, the simplest, the minimal amount of red tape. Red tape, I guess, is the word. Because the legislation for internet companies is kind of waving up in the air. So aside from that, you can sit in your basement, spend 1 to 3 months writing an app, put that app out. You can either make money recurringly, or you can sell it on sites like Flippa.com, FLIPPA.com. And that's a platform that I've used in the past to sell apps. People can buy and sell apps that way. I exclusively work from home. I've worked from home exclusively now for over a year. It's pretty awesome. I really can't fathom having to go back to an office, permanently. I like to go in. Oh, you're gonna push me, huh? I like to go in to an office every now and then just because I like human interaction. But, for the most part, this is awesome. I got my kids here. I have engineers that I can outsource work to if, my workload gets too heavy. I can take my lunch break anytime I want to. I can clock in, clock out anytime I want to. I wouldn't be able to do that in any other field. Like, even if I was doing something like real estate, which is another way to get residual income, that's still way more active than managing apps or managing engineers to write apps. So, all of this is because I read a book when I was 8 years old. All of this. And now I just want to teach that to other people. So that's a little bit about me. I'm just rambling at this point, trying to generate conversation. Feel free to drop me comments below. Anything you want me to talk about. But Amsterdam, yeah, real estate takes way more time than that. Yeah. Like I'm trying to get into that space right now, just because I like to diversify streams of income. But it's very from my friends and family who are already in it. I can see that's very time consuming. But it is hot and humid out here. Got my little baby sleeping in the house, so I didn't want to yell. And my son wanted to come outside, so I wanted to try this mobile stream out. But anyway, stop. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Amsterdam. Let me tell you guys about Amsterdam. So it was pretty freaking awesome. My wife and I went. We actually stayed in Amstelveen, about 5 miles outside the city. Wonderful hotel, Amstelveen Hotel. If you ever go to Amsterdam, go there. Great hospitality. The conference, met a lot of influential people. Got a lot of business cards, shook a lot of hands. Doing a lot of videos and whatnot. The before and after parties were they're alright. The video from last year makes it look like that party from last year was way better than this year's party, but overall it was okay. The food, it It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best either. You are about to become one of my favorite channels. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Why is that? I like that. Makes me feel good. I always wonder if I just ramble and people are just like, shut the hell up. But yeah. Um, the food was okay. It was pretty cool because the canals go through the whole city. So it was just like and bicycling is the main form of transportation. So, seeing canals everywhere and seeing more bikes on the road than you're seeing cars, that was really trippy. But other than that, same as any other big city, for real. Um, a lot of I like the architecture. It was very old. Something interesting that I learned. So back in whenever time, they used to tax people in Amsterdam based on the width that the front of your house took on the sidewalk. Okay, so there was a rich man who, like, I think he was a banker or something, and he had this guy who had worked for him for a long, long, long time, and he never had a home. So the rich guy felt um, I guess, I don't know, pity or whatever on the dude. So he made him a house that was like the size of this tree right here. No, I mean like two of these trees, but it was like really tall. And gave him the house. So his tax liability on the home was very minimal. And I may not be sure, but I think, if the dimensions were below a certain length or whatever, then you didn't get taxed at all. But I thought that was pretty cool. That house is still standing now. It's a bookstore that only like two people can fit in at a time. You said this is a good talk. You're covering many subjects that are right up my alley in just one convo. Oh, awesome. Well, if you have anything else that I want to talk about, just drop it below. We'll feel free. I would love to talk about it. So, I talked about why I went to Amsterdam, but I didn't talk about what Treat Me at Home is. So, Treat Me at Home is my latest startup. It is a marketplace that connects service providers with people who want those services done at home. So, let's say, let's take me. I teach coding, right? One-on-one coding. I do my YouTube, and then if you want more personal, you can book me on Treat Me at Home, and we have worksheets and exercises stuff, basically geared to get you work ready in 3 months or less. So I offer tutoring. I put my service. I'm in Danville, Kentucky, and then when I'm out in the Bay, I'm in Hayward, California. People can book how much time that they want or how many sessions that they want, and then I can either go to their house or I can virtually tutor them. But it can be any home-based service. I got people who do nails, massage, got people who do car washes, got people who do furniture repair, got people who do fitness training. It's anything that you can fathom that somebody will be like, hey, instead of me going out, I'd rather somebody come here and do it. So that's, and I use the same payment processor that Uber and Lyft use. So the way that you get paid on Uber and Lyft, and that process payment is the same exact vendor. So if you're familiar with Uber and Lyft, then you would understand the sign-up process and whatnot. It's free to sign up, and another cool thing is service providers can offer subscriptions. So, let's say you're a masseuse, you can offer, like, somebody wants to get one massage a month, you might charge them, I don't know, $200 for 4 massages or $75 per massage or something like that. And customers can get reward points or in-app currency for purchasing services. So you get 2% back. So every $100 you get $2 back that you can use in the app to buy services. And service providers can sign up to be premium service providers. And if you do that, you set yourself a budget on how much you want to spend each month on the platform. And 90% of that money goes to creating Facebook ads and Twitter ads to promote your service. You say you enjoyed talking about the Amsterdam? Okay, yeah, well, What else? Something something interesting. Uh, that's kid appropriate. Um, they don't they don't cook. I love steak. Okay, I love steak, but I don't like my steak. Super bloody. I like it a little pink. Well, like over in Europe, like they like they put the steak on there for like 3 minutes, and then they hand it to me, and then I'm looking around, everybody's eating steak, like burritos and stuff, and just like the red stuff. It's actually not blood. I found out. I think it's just hemoglobin and platelets or whatever, but it's not scientifically blood. But I call it blood. All in the meat is all in the mouth or whatnot. So that bummed me out because I really like steak. And I found out that's a European thing. And I mean, Amsterdam is. I mean, it's a really green city. They're very conscious about environmentalism. Uh, a lot of, like I said, most people bike. Same person. I just have two channels. I was getting muffled. Also, somebody's cutting the grass too. I'm gonna go back up to the front. Hey, Ethan, come on, let's go this way. Yeah, that might be better. I'm just gonna sit, watch so I can see my son while I talk to you guys. But a lot of everybody, almost everyone drove high class cars. Like all of our Ubers, but one was a Mercedes E-Class. So, uh, yeah, but they're manufactured over there, so obviously they're cheaper over there. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk about, and it's not just that I noticed at the conference, but I got the feeling that this is Europe as a whole. Yeah, something something that I heard about as a whole is that Europe is very progressive with technology. Like for example, one of the mentors that I met is working at this startup founded by the richest man in France. I cannot remember his name, but just Google the richest man in France. But he started this thing called F Secure, and it's this giant startup compound that I think hosts 2,000 startups inside of the compound, and is not designed to make money. Like he spent Mike. All right, Ethan, come on. Yeah, it's the. No, you're fine. You don't have to go in. We just gotta get closer to the porch. Let me know if that's better. You don't have to go in, so you wanna say hi? You over playing, messing up the braids? What was I saying? Yeah, it's not designed to make money. It's designed to promote the tech industry in France. So they have all these startups together with the fastest internet, most up to date equipment, and they basically, I think they just pay like 99 or 129 euros a month, something very minuscule, and they get all these resources available to them so they can just focus on their startups. And Europe is, especially England, they are very. No, you fixed it. Thanks. Awesome. They are very. How do I say this? They're not afraid to use technology like on people, like sort of like privacy, like what we think of as privacy. Like the government is impeding on our privacy rights. They'll just do it over there. Mike again. All right. Was it when I was moving or when I'm sitting right here? I'm sort of moving, so I have to go tell him to get back. Excuse it. And once again, oh, there he is. So, that there's a lot of initiative by the I got. Because there was a lot of, one of the things at the TNW, there was these decision maker talks. So we had like ambassadors. So right now you can or you can't hear me. I'm not gonna say anything until you tell me yay or nay. It seems muffled. Tell me when it sounds better. Does it sound better right now? Sorry to do this. Like I said, it was very impromptu. Then, my son wanted to go outside last minute, and I'd already promised everybody I was going to stream. Okay, way better. Awesome. I think it has something to do with the echoing, because I'm right here next to this and it's bouncing off. I don't know. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So there's this corporate government hamster wheel. Government promotes innovation, so innovation can be used by government. So they can promote innovation to be used by the government. So while I did have I did get a sense of like progressiveness, a bigger sense of progressiveness in the tech field out there than I do out here, especially like even out in the Bay, like which is the tech hub of America. It's still not pushed in schools and pushed through propaganda that we should be teaching tech and STEM as a whole to our youth, which kind of brings me to my next point, that I believe that the U.S. economy is in trouble if we do not start teaching more STEM, especially computer science. And the reason that I say that is because everyone wants to harp on the H-1B program. And for those who don't know what the H-1B program is, that's the visa program that allows talented individuals from other countries to come in America to take a job. So like, for example, Sephora. I'm a contractor for Sephora, and they have a lot of people from India and Ukraine, and that area, the Eastern European area. We have a lot of people from India, and when they come over full time, they'll hire them on an H-1B visa because we need a senior software engineer who specializes in beauty technology. So, I want to be delicate. I can understand your dislike and your disgruntledness for the H-1B program if our education program produced scholars of the same merit. A lot of these people that I talk to, you talk, like, when did you learn computer science? They started teaching this stuff 5th, 6th grade, or, my father taught this to me by the age, when I was like the age of 3. That's a lot. They teach a lot of that stuff at home before they even get into school. I mean, by the time they get into school, and by the time they graduate, their equivalent of senior year of high school, they're already smarter than the people in college. When I was in engineering school before I dropped out, there was 2 little Indian boys who I want to say they were 12 and 13. They might have been younger than that, but they were in my physics 2, electromagnetics, calculus-based physics class, breaking the curve, and they were juveniles. And they were like, yeah, my father taught me all this. Like, this is what you Americans get your degrees in. Like, we're expected to know this. This is cake. In a small circle into children and try to get to. I teach it in a small circle into children and try to get the message out. That's what's up. That's what's up. That a distributed approach like that, I believe, is the most effective approach. If we have enough people in pockets distributed teaching skills, then that would be a more effective approach than trying to have a single authority or like, i.e. the Department of Education, trying to force it down our throats. I think there needs to be a lot of autodidactism. People need to enlighten themselves and then pass that on to their children. I think that is going to be the fastest way to generationally learn these things. Like, I would love to generationally in my lineage start a line of engineers. I'm just trying to see. That's why I'm happy to find your channel. This is great. I am happy that you found my channel, and if you have any questions on your journey while you're going through this field, ask me. If you do the hashtag Tech Talk Thursdays, I follow that hashtag, so you can ask questions on there when I'm not doing the live stream. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter at MastaShake08, MastaShake08. You can always ask me any questions, and commenting on the videos is another way, and that really helps because that drives interaction on the channel. But I'm always I love to help. This is what I do. Um, this is what I do. So let's see. I talked about me. I've talked about Amsterdam. I've talked about the differences in the. Oh, well, I didn't really finish my point. Yeah. So people are disgruntled about the H-1B program, and people from foreign countries coming over taking these jobs. These high skilled jobs. But they don't want to pay higher taxes to fund, to hire teachers to teach high level sciences in high school. Like you can't have it both ways, and where our economy's in trouble because what's going to happen when these people start going back to their countries with their knowledge and their riches they accumulated from America? You're going to have a Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is not going to be exclusive to America. Eventually, people are going to go back, and their countries are going to enrich it. And what's going to happen is we're going to be left with a bunch of people who are not qualified, or it's going to take too much time to qualify them to get us back to the economic prosperity, and stronghold we had in the tech and in the STEM fields in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying? Like people, if these people leave, it's not like we can snap our fingers and get people trained to do these jobs overnight. It's going to take time and it's going to take money, which we may not have at that point because I really only see those people leaving if the U.S. economy, uh, if the U.S. gives them a reason to leave, basically. Because it's awesome here. I mean, it's awesome. Let's all say it. I mean, it has its problems, but you know, with what you get, it's pretty awesome. Ethan, what you doing? You want to say hi? No, no. I'm trying to teach him coding right now. My mother, she bought him a little programmable Bluetooth robot called a Koji, Coji, and you can learn programming with using emojis. So it comes with this little Bluetooth app, smartphone companion app, and you can set macros and put conditional logic. So the robot, know what you're doing. You can have this little thing doing some pretty cool stuff. So I'm trying to use that with him to teach him the theory. Just the theory of programming. He's only 3. I'm not expecting him to master it, but doing it over time, and then when he gets 4 or 5, amp it up, and then hopefully by the time that he is 8, he'll be way farther along than when I started. But he's a very creative guy. But and that kind of brings me to my next point. I really am targeting this to young people and particularly children. Oh, my battery's low. I might have to go get my charger. But especially children. Because children's minds, they just get it. Ethan, stop. Come on. You showed them a few times and they just get it. Like we spend a lot of time using our words to try to convey these complex things, and sometimes simplicity is the best way to express complexity. So, if you got kids, you want them to learn how to code, anybody who wants to learn how to code, then send them my channel. Make them learn how to code. Some part that I I struggle with is not knowing, or like forgetting that people that I'm talking to have never coded before, and I'm trying to explain it to them like I'm an 8-year-old, and it doesn't really work. But when I talk to an 8-year-old, they get it. Uh, Programming is not hard at all. Computers are not hard at all. They're just calculators. Um, they're actually very predictable, and that's why I like them. Ethan, come back. Um, and the cool thing is, like I said, you can literally sit and create build. You can create wealth by just using your mind. You just have an idea. You sit down. You put in time, and you will create something that can sustain not only just you, but you can you sell the next Snapchat, make $11 billion, and now you got generational wealth. I think especially in the black community, we need to be emphasizing STEM. Children teach me, man. Like, they make me feel stupid sometimes. It's like, oh, why didn't I think of it like that? I love working with kids. I love working with kids. And by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Please share with anybody that you know. Um, I think I'm gonna leave. Let's see. I've been streaming for 37 minutes. I think I'm gonna leave these last 10 minutes in some Q&A. Do you guys have any questions? I'm just gonna kind of just sit here. Please, any questions, any. It doesn't have to be programming related. It doesn't even necessarily have to be computer related. But just any questions about, like, entrepreneurship. You probably found me on Tariq's channel. Entrepreneurship, what it's like working at home, what it's like being black in the tech field, any questions whatsoever, and I'll be glad to answer it. Because I feel, that's something that I lacked in the field. I'm usually the only black person. And if I'm not the only black person, I'm definitely the only black senior engineer. And that's always been the case, and I've always felt social pressure, that uncomfortable. I was 21 when I got my first. You said, I believe earlier you said you make and sell apps, correct? Yes, I do. I do make and sell apps. I make apps for myself, and I make apps for clients. So I own a consulting company, J Computer Solutions, and we write apps for companies. I haven't sold it, but it does it. But yes, it does. I do have an app that mostly pays my rent and my bills. Yes, but no, I'm probably never gonna sell it. So but yes, I do make and sell apps. My company makes apps, and then I make my own apps personally. So I do on enterprise ways. I'm trying to reach the goal of doing this successfully. Okay, so if you're trying to get into the app market particularly, then you need to have a realistic timeline. I think that's something that most people, when they get into app development, they think that, oh, it's going to only take me a few months to write this app, and then a couple months later I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make millions of dollars. And it doesn't work like that. It takes 1 to 3 months to learn how to code, but it's still going to take you an extra month or two programming on your own outside of what you learn. Because when you're in a classroom setting, or even when you're in a tutoring setting, it's it's structured. You're Even unexpected problems that come up in the process are still in a structured manner. But when you get into the real world, it's no man's land, and you don't know what kind of issues you're going to run into. So you need to give yourself time to mess up. So before you even try to write that app that's your idea, your money maker, I would spend time writing a bunch of uh, like I call them BS apps. Like if you go to my GitHub, I got over 100 apps on there, and most of them are BS apps. Is because I like to write apps every month just to keep my skills sharp. I have no intention of selling these. I have no intention of putting these out. These are just to keep my skills sharp. So I would do at least 2 of those before you even try to do the app that your first app that you want to make money with, and give yourself at least a year to write the app and get it to the point where you're able to beta test it, right? Because you also need to know what you're going to be building out for. Exactly. You have to give yourself time to fail in order for you to succeed. Um, I'm gonna take my phone is dying. I'm on 6%, so I'll take one more question before I end the stream. I appreciate all those who have been watching. So I'll take one more question, and then if my schedule allows it, I'm going to do my intro to CSS stream tomorrow. Preferably later in the day. I did the stream early today because I'm trying to gauge what time of the day would be the best time to stream. Because I know most of my half my people, more than half my people are on the West Coast, and then I got people on the East Coast, and then I have people um, over in Europe and Asia. So it's kind of hard for me to figure out what's like that sweet spot. Let's go look forward to the next video live. Okay, well I appreciate everyone who has contributed to this conversation. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you guys later. And thank you for the first episode of Tech Talk Thursday.